Hi, this is Chris Eymann,
Tracy Royce,
Luke Rotvold,
and this is the Redroom. Tracy, Luke, and I jump on every week to talk about real estate, acquisition,
a lot of fix and flip,
and design,
dispositions,
Airbnbs,
financial independence, retire early.
We always have a new guest every single week.
We're going to have a lot of fun, all right?
So if you're interested in any or all of those, make sure to join us on the Redroom podcast.
And subscribe to the Redroom.
Share it with your friends or join us on the Phoenix RIA Facebook. Well, a lot of scary intros over.
All right, we are here.
All right, so we are on the Redroom for the Phoenix RIA. This is episode 130. We got a little echo. We got some echo on Luke.
I'm blaming you, Luke.
It's me again?
Yeah, do you get your ear pods? Put on your ear pods.
What is going on with my phone? All right, guys, I have an iPhone. I have the brand new iPhone 12. Like, I would think this is pretty awesome.
So inventory has crept down a little bit, only a couple hundred units, but still, like, it doesn't make any sense for August. But the 10-year still clipping up there, I think, at like 4.7. So don't understand that aspect either. We got higher interest rates. We got school starting. I think the grade school kids just started like yesterday. Colleges are starting, here in about, a week and a half. So not normally a time where you'd see some inventory decrease with higher interest rates, kids going back to school, but hey, we'll take it. I was actually I was doing a walk in Florida last week and I was looking for houses in this certain neighborhood and I pulled up and they were like, stuff that had been like, well, this one's been sitting there for a while. This one's been sitting there for a while. And these are, $1 million, $2 million houses. And it was like pending. I was like, what's going on? I need to pay attention to my neighborhood a little bit better because like stuff's like moving. So is that stuff you guys have seen or what do you think? What do you think, Tracy, Luke? I mean, how's your Northern Arizona stuff doing?
Northern Arizona has been solid for us. No complaints. I mean, the thing is too, those, and I know I talked about it a little bit last week, but we're still pushing a lot of stuff out that makes a lot of sense as Airbnb. So, with Prescott being like a second tier, a second market for a lot of people, I mean, majority of the buyers that are up there are either from California or they're going to be people in Phoenix that are looking for secondary properties. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting because you could take it either way, right? Like you would think that in a market that's tough, either A, people aren't having the money to go buy second homes, but then you could also look at it as if you are in a position to buy a second home, you're probably not too worried about the market right now, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, so what we're kind of noticing is that the investors, which I tend to think it's the people that have really good W-2 income, but they're trying to shield, their assets and then shield their money by, getting write-offs from other investment properties. I think we're seeing kind of a lot of that up north right now. And so it's been pretty solid lately, to be honest. Either that or maybe everybody just hates the 115-degree heat and they just want to leave.
Yeah, that's fair.
That part.
It could be that one too. I don't know.
Yeah. My students have definitely been seeing more activity, especially in the last few weeks. And for the realtors that are listening, we're definitely seeing a difference between the realtors that can educate their sellers and the sellers are accepting of the market value of their house versus them clinging to prices that just aren't realistic. So yes, the activity is out there, but it goes hand in hand with sellers' expectations and the reality of this confluence of interest rates, affordability, and I probably sound like I'm beating a drum here, but the price point that we're talking about, very different conversations within the luxury market versus entry level price point.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And then today our guest is, by the way, I don't know if you noticed the last names are the same. I really should have invited him on because he took my job, but he replaced me. He talks to Luke. I used to talk to Luke like multiple times a week. I don't ever hear from Luke anymore.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We did. We talked like 4 or 5 days a week, and now it's Jack and I that talk that often.
I get to see you on Tuesday, and then a random text like once a month if you need something like luxury or something like that.
Yeah. Well, see, Chris, you used to take me out to go grab tequila and margaritas and go to baseball games and stuff like that. And now Jack takes me.
Let's see where your priorities are.
Yeah. Where's the love?
So let's I mean, I kind of know Jack's story, so and you guys a little bit do too, but I mean, Jack, to give you my little background to him, was like a C student, and this is my one story, and I've told it multiple times in other venues, but college algebra is not hard for this kid, and he just wouldn't put in any work. I couldn't get him any work. Like his senior year of high school, he got a C in college algebra. I was like, "You get off it."
Freshman algebra, and you made me retake it as a senior.
Yeah, so I stuck him. He was going to get off at 10 o'clock anyway. I wasn't going to really be able to pick him up from school that early anyway because his sisters were still in school. So I'm like,
make him do math.
So I had made him take the freshman class as a senior, but I mean, I'm paying like $6,000 a year for his school. Like, he didn't take it seriously. So I was like, you can retake it.
I'm not going to stand for the Jack slander, but I think it's hilarious that it's just like, I'm paying $6,000, so I'm going to get my money's worth. And we're talking about taking algebra again.
Yeah, I took 2 freshman classes as a senior with 13-year-olds.
So fast forward from there to like a kid that just didn't want to apply himself at all to like when he jumped into the wholesale market. Now, I don't think he was like, it took him, and I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Jack. I think it took him like 90 to 120 days to like have it click. And then when it clicked, he just was like bolt. Like, he did the 100-yarder in like, 10 seconds. So, I mean, I don't know how did I introduce you to Luke, or did you just reach out and just start chatting with him, or I don't even remember.
Okay, fun story. Okay, so Chris, I was cold calling, remember, every single day at this time. And so you had told Jack, because Jack was getting into the industry, you're like, hey, go to Luke's office and just sit with him and call and like listen to him call and kind of learn that. I don't know if you know this story. I don't know if we should tell him this story, Jack. But Jack came to our office and I was playing Madden because remember I'd play Madden every time I call. So we played Madden for like 4 hours and we were just taking tequila shots.
So money well invested. So yeah, I mean, so Jack, give us a story. Like, I mean, Luke, like, what were your stepping stones, Luke? I mean, your biggest, and I'm proud of you for this. Your biggest move was like you went to a Suns game and reached out to somebody that got us a big account. But like, where was the transition? What was the switch that like made you go?
I mean, at first you just had me hawking Facebook and just bringing everything to you, but then you traveled so much and I couldn't get a response from you that I was like, all right, I got to figure out the whole comping thing, which took a long time. I definitely lost you quite a bit of money in the process. But long-term it worked out.
But,
absolutely.
But I mean, and I think Luke could attest to this, like the only really best way to learn how to comp is you win some and you lose some, right? Like if you won them all, you'd be like, oh, I don't like, who cares about comping, right?
You'd buy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first one, we lost 20, second one 10, and third one 7. And then the fourth one I cracked was 40. So I got back to close to even. But yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that I think it's one of the, exactly what you said, Chris, of like having to learn, because it's an expensive lesson to learn when you lose one, right? Like, because it's not like when you're dealing with houses, you're not talking about like losing, $200, $500. Like Jack just said, you can lose 20 grand, you can lose 40 grand. I mean, 2022, you can lose $1 million. Like, you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
doing
How would
this.
you know that, Luke? Yeah.
I don't know. I just heard from people that happens from time to time.
Right. Right.
But I mean, so it's like, I think it's it's the most valuable lesson you could possibly learn. But then it like teaches you moving forward, like, damn, I gotta get good at this, and I really have to perfect my craft.
We'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit to the listener, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to tune in and want to know, how do I get the best wholesale deals? I don't have $100,000 to lose. How can that skill translate to someone that's out there looking for wholesale deals, but can't afford to take multiple losses before they get the one that really makes sense? What are some conversations they can have with potential end buyers, or ways that they can lessen the amount that they lose or not lose at all before they start to click with their wholesale prices?
I mean, that's kind of what we do completely is, we'll take a small chunk, but we'll take the full financial responsibility. So like, that's my whole thing to everyone, like, cause I have 6 buddies that are in wholesaling now that have come from like public accounting, engineering, everything. But it was just like, hey, I'll put my money where my mouth is. If we lose money, like, I'll give you 75% of the assignment because you're working your ass off. Like, I'm just looking at it for 10 minutes and I'm telling you yes or no. But if you lose, we'll take financial responsibility and we're not going to, leave you hanging.
And I think with that, like, I mean, we still lose earnest money. I don't know the exact number. I would say
8 times a month.
Huh?
8 times a month.
Yeah. So, so there's a balance between taking, the certain amount of risk to, acquire the houses, and there's got to be a certain amount of, loss that you have to take to stay aggressive, I guess is the right word.
Sure.
If you were to lose 0 earnest money in a month, that probably meant that we weren't aggressive enough during that time. What do you think, Jack? Yes, no? What?
I mean, like, spring's typically okay. It's like every summer is when we typically get caught. Like I said, 8 because it's this month. It is 8. But I mean, it's always like, people are kind of buy happy. And then, I mean, every year I know it's going to shut off, but you never know which ones are going to sell and which ones won't. And so it's kind of like just taking your shots, knowing, more than likely they'll hit. But I mean, we definitely get stuck every summer with some bad months.
And have you seen that change, especially this summer? Like, how are you mitigating the prices with the weirdness in the market?
This summer has been, I think spring wasn't as good as like people anticipated. And so I don't think, like, I was really cautious going into this summer compared to normal. Because typically a spring, like, runs up so good and everything seems so great that, you kind of just keep the confidence going or in terms of buying stuff. This like spring was so rough that I was like, all right, well, we know it's coming, and people obviously are out of town all summer, and I think a lot of people just stopped buying and travel. So, but once again, still got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the game.
No question about it. That's part of the game. I mean, I think that, my favorite thing, and I think such a testament to you guys and what you guys do. And I mean, again, it's you guys were able to help us in the sense where it's like, okay, when you are in that position, when you're first getting started and you want to take a risk to try to see if you can try to sell something. But when you're first getting started, very similar to what you said, Tracy, like, if you're not in a position to lose a bunch of money, like, you don't really have a whole lot of options other than, trying to make your terms favorable on your contract of saying, like, a 10-day inspection. But unfortunately, in how this real estate world goes anymore, like, you don't have the luxury of being able to say, I'll do a 10-day inspection anymore.
Right.
Like, because everybody else will say, I will do a 0-day inspection. So it's like, it makes it very difficult when you're young and getting started and you're trying to get this figured out. And that's where you guys come in as such a huge tool. Mm-hmm. And, you help out so much in that sense. Because, I mean, again, like you said, you take that risk away from a young person who maybe they have 10 grand in their bank account. And if they risk it all, they're completely starting over again. So it's huge for what you guys can offer to people who just get into the industry. Because, I mean, it's you save a lot of heartache, that's for sure.
Well, that's what you do with Northern Arizona houses.
Right, exactly.
And then buy them at 50%.
Correct.
And to
That is
that point,
accurate.
so that's a great segue to my question is if you don't mind talking about it a little bit, what sort of buy formulaic approach are you taking? Is it, people love to throw around old formulas that may or may not apply. What's your safety range right now in terms of percent of market value, or do you have a certain formula that you follow?
I mean, I like study all of our competitors, like kind of what they send out, what goes out multiple times. Obviously sometimes I'll see different wholesalers, so like, okay, that didn't trade there. But I kind of just pay attention to everyone else's send outs and like what only goes out once. So that, it obviously moved. Because there's different areas that trade so much more aggressively. I mean, obviously everyone knows Chandler Gilbert trades super aggressively, some parts of Mesa. But like townhomes, you can't give away right now. Condos, you can't give away right now. So, I mean, there's not like the whole 68% of ARV or whatever. I mean, townhomes, I'm trying to buy at 55%. If the HOA is under $300, if it's over like 48, 50, especially for the higher end ones. I mean, we had one that was actually on tax records as a single story, and it comped to 490. What I didn't realize was it was a single story, but you have to walk upstairs to the single story. So we bought it in January. We put 40 in it. We paid 370, and we're currently listed at 399. I mean, the HOA is over $400, and condos and townhomes right now are just, I don't even really feel safe at any price point.
Yeah, there's definitely blood in the water on those.
I just bought a townhome a couple days ago. Don't say that.
Well, yours is special, Luke. Yours won't apply.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, Maryville, some of Mesa, like they all kind of trade pretty thin, and like those standards don't really deviate too frequently. But yeah. And then obviously you have the luxury market, which every person in Arizona thinks they're getting into at the moment. And they still fly like $100,000 above what they should if you do the math.
And what's crazy about those is we just actually wholesaled one that we got, and we lost out, and the person went, basically 200 over what we offered, non-refundable, no inspection. They don't know if there's sewer or they can get a septic, and they went 0 inspection, and then they lost their earnest money. The agent came back to us and expected us the same thing. They wanted, this is a 1.5 property, and then they wanted us to enter at 0 inspection. Like, hey, this is so valuable, and it's dirt and 852.4. We want you to go 0 inspection, which makes no sense.
Well, and they had a failed septic, and then you didn't know if you had to tie into the manhole or not, which cost $100,000, and that was just a variable you had to take on.
So it's the luxury market out there is just like kind of, I put an offer in Friday on one, and like at 3.2, and once again, the guy's like, oh, I'm gonna send it to my lawyer. I need you to put in 3% earnest money, which is $100,000 earnest money. People say 1%, whatever, 1.5%. He wants 3% earnest money, and like everybody in these markets thinks their house is gold, and then I gave him the offer at 3.3 that he asked for, and then he ghosted me. Like,
unreal.
Just kind of like guy a full price offer, and he ghosted you.
Yeah, and then he's just like, I basically I just wanted to see. So now his new baseline, because he said he had an offer at 3.2, but it was like a nice size lot. It's like a 1.38 a lot, and then he just hasn't responded.
Man,
unreal.
Wish I was in that position to not.
I know. Just casually ghost someone over that.
Yeah, actually, I thought about it.
Yeah, I got better things to do.
Yeah, I could probably go get more.
Right. Yeah. Jack, on the normal range of houses, who do you see buying right now? You said it slowed up a little bit during summer, but do you have regular buyers? Like, who do you see transacting the most right now, if there is sort of an avatar for that?
The people that I would say are professional flippers, that are doing 50, 60 a year.
Luke, you got to mute yourself.
Oh.
Thank you.
The guys that are doing, 50 plus houses a year extremely cautious. I'd say most of them are almost gone for the most part. I mean, they'll buy something, but it's at a price that, I mean, you can definitely get something more on a send out. And I mean, I get it. I mean, their exposure, you know, if you're holding 20 or 30, or if you have 10 active, is, you know, a lot bigger than other people. I think there's still, I don't know. People, I mean, I think people are still picking up rentals here and there and stuff like that. So, you know, some stuff is still trading, especially if you're getting, you know, because prices have definitely fallen. Like stuff that would trade, call it for 365, 370 in March, April, is probably at 350 right now. And so, I mean, if you have the cash and you know, you want a rental or something like that, or, you know, you're okay with keeping it. I think there's people that are buying stuff like that. I actually read something on Twitter the other day, and it's people that are at Arizona because of all the data centers and stuff like that. Like there's people that are trying to buy for like their kids in the future just because they're worried about it running up long term. But yeah, so I don't know. The professional guy, or the guys that do volume, are definitely quiet, but I mean, you put something out on the internet and there's typically someone on the other end, at least at some price.
Sure. That makes sense. Well, and to the point that you made earlier, Luke had said, even down here in the Valley, there's people that are trying to offset their income, or for other reasons will buy at prices that won't make sense necessarily as a fix and flip. So it's often something that I have to remind my flip school students when they're like, I can't buy at this price and make it work. I'm like, well, you know, that doesn't mean that the next person can't, because they have a different reason for why they're purchasing it. But it's interesting to know who's still buying.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you think? I mean, this is an election year, so it's only a midterm year. So normally like September, October, the months we're coming into, would be generally slower as well. Like, anybody have thoughts on, like, you know, do you think it goes ghost town for the next 2 months? Or do you see like, okay, we've had, I mean, 4 bad springs in a row, or 3 bad springs in a row anyway. I mean, sooner or later, and you have seen the inventory tick down in August. Like, does the market, do they start loading up for spring, even though we had a crappy spring last year?
Yeah.
Anyone's thoughts on that?
Jack, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's just been this purgatory since like June 2022. I think everyone thought this year was like, oh, this is the year. We've all been having that conversation. You know, I think Luke and I've said it 100 times, like, oh no, this is the year. But after the last couple, I can't say that I'd expect it to be good again unless something drastic changes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The word cognitive dissonance comes to mind.
Yeah, when you just start getting used to it, like you said, like that just becomes the norm. Like, I think that, you know, for the longest time, that was always the conversation Chris and I always used to have was, you know, at least for the first 7 years that I was in real estate, the beginning of the year was always awesome. So it's like, that was the norm where you're like, okay, well, beginning of the year's coming. It's going to be a great beginning of the year again. And it was year after year after year after year. You know, obviously until up until about 2022. And I mean, now we're 4 years in, for the most part, of just really nothing crazy. Like, it hasn't been fantastic. I mean, I don't want to say it hasn't been terrible. Like, obviously, I don't think it's anything compared to like what 2008 was, of course. But I mean, I don't know. Some people say that it is, you know, but I don't know. I personally don't think it is, though, because I mean, we didn't see 50% drops in you know, value. Where I remember my house that I grew up in 2008, that's the year I graduated. My house lost its value by 50%. So, and I mean, I haven't seen that, you know, at all in 2022 through 2026. I mean, we saw dips, you know, like we saw, in my opinion, I think we saw the market dip about 15 to 20%. I think some people would maybe even say that they thought that it dipped, you know, 25 to 30%. But I mean, I don't think that it's done that in the past 4 years. I think it's stayed very stagnant and it's stayed slow, but I think it's stayed within, in my opinion, within about a 10%, you know, range of going down. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? I mean, Chris, Jack, do you guys think it's stayed around that, or do you guys think it's dropped more than that?
Submarkets, I feel like have actually started to get to where it's, I offered someone 210 on a house in Florence yesterday that they bought for 375 in 21. And it wasn't a lowball offer either. Like, I thought it sold for maybe 10 over. Obviously, have to go through a short sale, but they were pre-foreclosure and trying to figure that out. But I feel like the submarkets actually have dropped. I mean, I don't know the actual data behind it. You might know.
Like 40-50% though.
I mean,
Damn.
not that much, but it's getting worse. But obviously, infill stuff. I mean, good areas are still holding pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those Maricopas, Buckeyes, Queen Creeks definitely seem to have softened. Like, I mean, I watched the Pinnell foreclosure sales, and you can see, a little 1,700 square foot single layable trade at 210, right? You can't buy it and build it for that. Like, I mean, you can't build a 1,700 square foot house for 210,000 with a lot. It doesn't exist.
No, you're not wrong. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen some of those too, where you're like, Santan Valley, 1,500 square feet built in 2010 for 175, and you're like, what?
You can't replace it. You can't replace it for that. So if you can't buy the lot and build the house, how do you not buy it, right? How do you not buy it?
We have a 3,800 square foot Maricopa that we've been in litigation over for like the last year that we were paying $250 for, and now I'm like, we have to buy it now because it's court ordered, but stop.
Yeah, I think to your question, Chris, I feel like something needs to abate for people to feel better about purchasing more, especially in the, let's say, 500,000 and under market. Inflation has just been really difficult to get under control. And I think a lot of people's expectations was once the new Fed chair was placed that would help. And there's only so many levers that they can pull, right? There's essentially two. And the jobs report just came out, which is underwhelming. And as it gets updated, it might be worse than we expect. And inflation has been worse than we expected as well. So those two things, and it's like, well, do we lower interest rates? And then that has a knock-on effect, or do we keep things as they are, which they've decided to do? And so that also curtails expectations that people had, thinking that this new person is going to be, a savior to what people wanted. And so with that, it's just the A word that just keeps coming up. It's affordability. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of different things. So when you go out and interview people, like, do you think that the economy is doing well? I think unless you're in the high income earner tax bracket, which even arguably then, people are still feeling, for the average person, it's not just one thing. It is housing prices and groceries and gas and anything and everything that could go into purchasing a house or just cost of living. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see this war coming to a stop anytime soon. There's so many stops and starts, and it's going to end, and now it's not going to end, and now it's a long-term thing. I think that's just going to have a long-term effect on buyer sentiment as well. So unless something changes, I don't see us, I don't want to use the word recovering, because I think what we were in wasn't necessarily normal for such a long time. But I do think that something has to change for people to get those feel goods about going into the market, even at a 6.5%, 7% interest rate, and transacting at a higher volume than we're at.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be, there's no signs that say it's changing anytime soon. So, and like everybody gave with the new Fed chair, everybody gave like, oh, he's going to come in and lower interest rates. Well, you can put a new Fed chair in, but it doesn't change the basic economics. Right? Economics don't change. Like you can put a new name in there, but it just doesn't the basics are the basics.
Right.
I just want people to stop asking for 3% concessions. That's all I want. I'm over it.
Yeah. I mean, the days of where someone sends you an offer with 3% concessions and you get to send that. I got somebody else that won't do that to me. I'm going to take those.
Yeah. We were saying anymore, 3% concessions with like 30K under ask is like, that's a pretty damn good offer. That's like full price.
Oh, I got an offer. It's a great day. Yeah.
You like build it into, I mean, at least I do now. I build in for every time when I comp a house out for like when I plan it out, I put in 3% for concessions on every property now.
Yeah.
Because
pretty much.
It's what it's been.
Yeah, if that's a true cost, that's a true cost, right? You might as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're doing the same thing with students when they're analyzing deals or going to market, is building in concessions, longer holding time,
Yep.
potentially a price drop. So super conservative on comps.
yeah.
You see there, kiddos, what you want to do is you want to plan for a year and a half of holding costs. It's going to be 7 points, 7% for concessions.
Right.
And the
$80
Binzer is
a
going to
square
be,
foot on the reno.
the Binzer will be give or take around 40,000.
Brand new AC, right?
When it's all said and done, you're going to mortgage your house away and it's going to be awesome.
There you go. Yep. Problem solved.
But hey, you did a flip.
Yeah. Not quite like that, but yeah.
Just kidding. It's not like that. But man, sometimes it feels like it.
Sure.
Well, Jack, appreciate you jumping on. Hopefully you won't take like 10 years to jump on the next time. And,
The start and end of my guru career.
all right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Jack, love you. Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, thanks for watching that episode. And this is the start of your real estate journey. There's over 100 episodes and a bunch of playlists. And please hit subscribe before you move on to the next video.